Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're plunging headfirst into something I think most of us know way too well, procrastination.
Oh, yeah.
Ever feel that, overwhelming urge to put things off, even when you know it's going to bite you in the ass later?
Absolutely. And look, you're not alone.
Definitely not.
It's really so much more than just being lazy.
Yeah.
It's this complex mix of emotions, brain chemistry, and these coping mechanisms we build up.
Right.
Our mission today is pretty simple. Cut through the noise, get straight to the powerful stuff about why we do this, and most importantly, how you can actually stop the cycle.
Yeah, break free. So if you've ever felt stuck, or maybe overwhelmed, or just plain guilty about letting tasks pile up, this deep dive, it's basically custom made for you. Let's try and conquer this monster.
Let's do it.
Okay, so let's unpack this a bit. What is procrastination, really? I mean, we're not just talking about taking a breather here, are we?
No, not at all. That's a key difference. At its core, it's the irrational, voluntary delay of a task you originally planned to do.
Irrational voluntary delay. Okay.
Yeah, and you do it despite expecting to be worse off for it later. It's not really about productivity, not really. It's more a reluctance to face emotional discomfort. We're basically trying to sidestep some kind of anticipated distress, something unpleasant about the task.
So it's an emotional thing first.
Primarily, yes. It's an emotion regulation problem, not a time management problem, fundamentally.
Okay, but here's where it gets tricky, right? How do you know if you're a chronic procrastinator versus just occasionally putting something off?
Good question. It becomes chronic when you're regularly missing deadlines, And it's not just one area, it's bleeding into various parts of your life.
Like work, home.
Exactly. Work, school, maybe even basic things like hygiene or paying bills. Distractions become the norm. Relationships can start to suffer.
Wow.
And it definitely impacts your sleep, your physical health, usually because of all that increased stress.
Yeah, that stress is killer.
And it's, as I said, deeply linked to emotional regulation. Research strongly suggests it's a coping mechanism.
A coping mechanism for what?
Often for underlying issues, sometimes connected to things like ADHD, anxiety, depression. The temporary relief you get from avoiding the task, that actually reinforces the desire to procrastinate again. It becomes this self-perpetuating loop. Stress, anxiety, guilt, avoid again.
Ugh, that sounds exhausting. So what does this actually mean for you, the listener? Well, get this. After putting things off, over 75% of people feel disappointed in themselves.
That's a high number.
And 72% feel straight up guilt. And long term, it hammers your self-image. Over 20% report decreased self-esteem, less self-efficacy. That's your belief you can actually do things.
It's a really brutal cycle. It chips away at your confidence over time.
Absolutely.
And like you said earlier, this isn't just about willpower or some kind of character flaw. Your brain is actively involved here.
Right.
There are specific neurobiological factors really driving this behavior. It's much more complex than just, not wanting to do it.
Okay, let's get into that. Neurobiology. Take us inside our heads. What's actually happening up there? What are the key players in this internal battle?
Okay, yeah. Think of it like a constant tug of war inside your brain.
Right.
On one side, you've got your prefrontal cortex, the PFC.
The rational brain.
The CEO. Exactly. Your executive suite. It handles planning, decision-making, self-regulation, all the grown-up stuff.
Right.
But when it's not firing optimally, or when it's overwhelmed by emotion, it gets really hard to just start a task or manage your time effectively.
Okay, so that's one player. Who's pulling the other way?
That would be your limbic system. Think of this as your more ancient emotional brain.
A monkey-brained.
Kind of, yeah. It includes areas like the amygdala. That's your fear and anxiety processor. So when you dread a task, maybe fear failure or judgment, the amygdala lights up. It basically screams, danger, avoid, flee.
Okay.
And that pushes you to seek immediate mood repair. Grab your phone, watch some TV, anything to feel better right now.
Instant gratification.
Precisely. And that brings us to the reward system. It's got this built-in bias towards instant gratification. Those quick hits of dopamine you get from scrolling social media.
Yeah, they feel good.
They feel really good.
Yeah.
And they're powerful. Often they just overpower the promise of a larger but delayed reward you'd get from actually finishing that big, daunting task.
So the quick fix wins.
Yeah, often, yeah. And then there are the neural pathways. This is crucial. Every single time you delay a task, you are literally strengthening the neural pathways for procrastination.
You're paving the road for that.
You're paving a superhighway for inaction, exactly. It makes it harder and harder to break the habit over time. So yeah, it's this constant internal battle. Your limbic system wants comfort now, And it often shouts louder than your rational PFC, especially when fear or boredom or uncertainty is
Oh,
involved.
that paints a really clear picture of the struggle inside. Okay, so knowing that, what actually causes this whole mess to kick off? What are the common triggers we should be aware of?
Well, recent studies point to a few big ones. Technology is a huge factor, obviously. Constant distraction machines in our pockets.
Tell me about it.
Then there's genetics. Some people might be more predisposed to traits like impulsivity or lower self-control.
Interesting.
Your environment plays a massive role, too. Lots of distractions around, no accountability. That makes it easier to slip.
Makes sense.
Even personality traits matter. Things like neuroticism, a tendency towards negative emotions, can make you more likely to avoid uncomfortable tasks. And critically, how you perceive a task matters.
How so?
Like, how valuable do you think it is? How confident are you that you'll succeed? If the value seems low or your expectation of success is shaky, you're way more likely to put it off.
Okay, so perception is key. What kind of tasks do people typically procrastinate on the most? What does the research show?
Well, it's often the usual suspects, things you might expect. Schoolwork, actual work tasks.
Yep.
Physical activity, getting to the gym. Even social activities sometimes, if they feel like an obligation or cause anxiety.
But those things specifically.
Often they're just, well, not fun. They might be difficult, boring, or maybe you're just really uncertain about how to even start. That uncertainty is a big trigger.
Yeah, that feeling of where do I even begin can be paralyzing.
Exactly.
And when people are procrastinating, what do they say they're actually doing or feeling?
Well, their self-reports are pretty revealing. Nearly 70% say they get distracted easily.
Okay.
Over 62% admit to lacking self-control in that moment. And over half, 51%, say they feel anxious while doing it.
So distraction, lack of control, anxiety.
Yeah, it's often this tangled web of maybe perfectionism, fearing it won't be good enough, impulsivity, grabbing the easy distraction, and underlying low self-esteem whispering that you can't handle it anyway. All that contributes to the pile of stuff you haven't done.
All right, we've peeled back a lot of layers here. We understand the roots in the brain, the emotions, the triggers. Now, let's shift gears. Enough with the why. Let's get to the how.
Yeah.
This next part is about the practical, actionable steps you can take to break free, to reclaim your time and energy. This is your battle plan.
Exactly. It's all about interrupting that negative cycle we talked about.
Yeah.
And consciously, intentionally building new habits. And yes, literally forging new neural pathways in your brain. You can rewire this.
Okay, where do we start? It sounds like mindset and managing emotions is foundational.
Absolutely. And the first step might surprise you. Self-forgiveness and compassion.
Forgiving yourself for procrastinating seems counterintuitive.
It does, right?
Yeah.
But the research is clear. Acknowledging past procrastination without beating yourself up actually makes you less likely to do it again.
How does that work?
Because guilt and self-blame, they just increase your desire to escape negative feelings. They're major triggers for more avoidance. If you let go of the blame, you disarm one of the biggest triggers.
Okay, less guilt, less avoidance. Makes sense. What else on the mindset front?
Challenge those cognitive distortions, the irrational thoughts that fuel the avoidance.
Like catastrophizing, thinking it's going to be the worst thing ever.
Exactly like catastrophizing, making a mountain out of a molehill. Identify those thoughts when they pop up. Ask yourself, okay, is this really that bad? What's the actual worst case scenario? Questioning them weakens their power.
Right, put them in perspective.
Third, practice focus through mindfulness. This doesn't have to be complicated. Just take, say, 5 or 10 minutes. Focus on your breath. Slow, steady breathing.
Okay.
Your mind will wander. That's what minds do. When it does, just acknowledge it, no judgment, and gently bring your focus back. Simply begin again.
Simply begin again. I like that.
That moment of awareness, of bringing yourself back, that's the key. That's the practice. You might have to just get started mentally 1,000 times a day, and that's okay. That is the work.
Building that mental muscle.
Exactly. And finally, try to cultivate a growth mindset. Believe that your abilities aren't fixed. You can develop them through effort and learning.
Instead of, I'm just not good at this.
Right. A growth mindset unleashes confidence. It helps you see setbacks as opportunities to learn, not as proof that you're incapable. It makes you more resilient.
Those are really powerful internal shifts. Okay, let's get practical. Task management, planning. I love this one. The 2-minute rule.
Ah, yes.
Classic. Make the first step of any new habit or any task you're avoiding so small it takes less than 2 minutes. Like literally, read 1 page, Put on running shoes, open the document.
Hmm.
The point isn't to do a lot initially, it's to master the habit of showing up. It feels almost stupid not to do it. It's so small.
It's brilliant because it bypasses that amygdala freak out, right?
Yeah.
The task is too tiny to trigger significant dread. It makes starting almost effortless.
Yeah.
And it starts building that crucial neural pathway for initiation, not avoidance. Building on that, for the bigger tasks, definitely break them down.
Chunk it up.
Yeah, use a step-by-step approach. Grade them into tiny, manageable pieces. Suddenly, that huge project isn't so overwhelming. You have a clear, achievable first step.
And you need to prioritize, right? And set clear goals. Make a to-do list, figure out what's urgent, what's important. I like the SMART framework for goals.
Yes, SMART goals are great.
Specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound. Having these clear, maybe even exciting goals can give you a little dopamine hit just thinking about them. They act like your North Star, keep you focused.
Absolutely. And something related that's often overlooked. Learn to tell time accurately, or at least get better at estimating.
What do you mean?
Practice estimating how long you think a task will take. Then actually time yourself doing it. Compare the estimate to reality.
The planning fallacy. We always underestimate.
Usually, yes.
Yeah.
Or sometimes overestimate and make it seem scarier than it is. Getting better at estimating helps you plan more realistically. It reduces that initial overwhelm or that feeling of, oh, this will only take 5 minutes when it's really an hour.
Good point. Okay, let's talk about shaping our external world now. Environment and accountability. This feels huge.
It is massively important.
You need to actively create obstacles for distractions, like turn off those damn phone notifications, set specific times you're allowed to check social media, maybe.
Definitely. Set up physical barriers to your triggers. Choose a prime place to work somewhere with minimal distractions. A library, a specific desk where you only work.
I've even heard of a more hardcore version. Make it the only option. Like, you sit at your desk, you can either do the task, or you do literally nothing else. No phone, no book, just stare at the wall.
Yes. The boredom strategy. It can actually work wonders for some people.
Because eventually the task seems more interesting than the boredom.
Exactly. It eliminates the easy dopamine hits your limbic system is craving. And related to environment is accountability and support. Honestly, this might be one of the most powerful strategies.
Getting someone else involved?
Yeah. Tell someone you trust, a friend, a mentor, a colleague, about your goals. Just knowing someone might ask you about your progress creates a sense of commitment.
External pressure in a good way.
Right. And they can offer support when you stumble. Shared goals can even be motivating, maybe even a bit competitive in a fun way. It leverages our social nature.
Okay, what about routine and scheduling?
Also key. Build a consistent daily or weekly routine. This can look different for different people. Some, like a detailed schedule, specific tasks planned at specific times.
Very structured.
Very. Others prefer something like an unschedule.
How does that work?
With an unschedule, you first block out all your fixed commitments, meetings, appointments, meals. Then you only schedule blocks of free time after you've completed a chunk of work, say 30 minutes.
So the reward time gets scheduled, not the work itself.
Kind of. You work first, then block off fun rest time. The beauty is you can't really fail at it.
Yeah.
If you work for 10 minutes, you block off 10 minutes of free time later. It allows for more spontaneity while still encouraging work.
That's pretty clever.
And alongside scheduling, self-monitoring is really helpful. Actively track your progress.
Like ticking things off a list.
Yep. Ticking off tasks, maybe noting how much time you spent focused, just acknowledging your progress, no matter how small it feels, gives your brain a little reward. It makes you feel good, see you're moving forward, and motivates you to keep going. Tangible proof.
Okay, last category. Motivation and rewards. Because, let's be honest, we're not robots. We need incentives.
We absolutely do.
My personal favorite strategy here is worst first. Sometimes called eat the frog.
Classic productivity advice.
You tackle the most horrible, dreadful task on your list first thing in the morning. Get it done. The relief is immense, and everything else feels easy afterwards.
That's a fantastic approach for many people. Gets the biggest hurdle out of the way. For others, though, that might feel too daunting initially.
So what's an alternative?
Try using momentum. Start with a task you actually enjoy or at least find easy. Build up some positive energy, some confidence, get that to-win feeling.
Okay.
And then immediately pivot to the task you've been avoiding. You sort of transfer that positive energy and activation state over to the harder task.
Ride the wave.
Ride the wave, exactly.
Also crucial, setting immediate rewards. Plan actual guilt-free rewards for yourself after you complete a task or hit a specific milestone.
Yes. This directly reinforces the positive behavior. It helps your brain link effort with a pleasant outcome.
And the key is guilt-free, right? Like you earned this break, this treat, whatever it is. Balance is important. Life isn't all work, but the play feels better when it's earned.
Absolutely. It strengthens that desired neural pathway. Work leads to reward.
Love it.
And one more really effective technique here is called temptation bundling.
Temptation bundling. Sounds intriguing.
It is. You pair something you need to do, and probably don't love, with something you want to do.
Like how?
For example, you only allow yourself to listen to your favorite podcast while you're doing laundry. Or you only watch your binge-worthy Netflix show while you're on the treadmill.
Ah, so you link the chore to the treat.
Exactly. It actually trains your brain to look forward to the chore because it's the gateway to the thing you enjoy. It's a really clever way to hack your reward system.
That's brilliant. Okay, so wrapping this up, it's clear procrastination isn't some deep character flaw you're just stuck with forever.
Not at all.
It's this complex battle, yeah, rooted in our emotions, how our brains are wired. But the good news, the really powerful takeaway here, is that you have this whole arsenal of tools now. You can fight back.
You absolutely can. It's about taking those small, consistent steps. It's about understanding what specifically triggers your procrastination. And crucially, giving yourself the grace, the permission, to simply begin again.
Even if it's 1,000 times a day.
Even if it's 1,000 times, the journey isn't about finding a magic bullet, a one-time fix. It's continuous. It's a practice.
Yeah. And remember this, if you get tired, learn to rest, not quit. There's a big difference.
Beautifully put. So the final thought for you, the listener, what one small, maybe even slightly ridiculous 2-minute action will you take today? What vote will you cast for the disciplined, productive person you want to become?